Okay, we're going to talk about how an AI agent can be trained to handle objections and some frequently asked questions. And what I'm going to use is an AI agent that we made to represent Digicel and some of their different business and consumer internet products. So we're going to start off with just a really nice greeting, and we will make a couple of assumptions. So the first one is that this is still a sales AI agent. In other words, it is still designed to try to book a call with a live agent at the end of answering questions and objections. It also is going to be held accountable to lead score throughout the conversation from cold, warm, hot. And it should be designed to offer meeting booking if the consumer is ready to sign up. You could also train it, the AI agent that is, you could train it to give self-serve sign-up links as an option. But for the purposes of this demo, I am going to use a call to action to schedule a call with a live agent as the primary way that a person could sign up after having all of their objections and FAQs answered by the AI agent. So we're going to run through in a live chat environment, and I'm going to make one more quick preface here before we jump in, and that's that although we are looking at a conversation in a browser, this conversation actually in real life would be had through inbound, outbound voice, live SMS, WhatsApp, or an email conversation. The only reason we have it in a web interface like this is because it's a much easier way for me to demonstrate, because at every step of a conversation, I can kind of pause and explain what's going on in the AI's mind during this exact moment in the conversation. And I can't easily do that in a live voice conversation because everything I say gets recorded and then the conversation carries on while I'm explaining what's going on. So that's the only reason we have it in the live chat interface. But imagine while we're doing this demo that this exact conversation could be had in an SMS or a voice call or WhatsApp or email. Now, I'm going to jump in. The greeting that I'm going to use is, hello, it's your authorized Digicel dealer. You previously requested a quote and we'd like to follow up. Would you prefer a callback in the morning or evening? Which day? So this is basically like a speed to lead. Someone just filled out the form fill on your site. There was a quote requested, and we're just reaching out to touch base and try to book a call, right? Now, I'm going to act like the lead in this case, the marketing lead, who has some objections, and then the AI agent is going to try to overcome those objections and then eventually try to schedule a call with me. And so we're going to go back and forth a bit. I'm going to start with some FAQs. So let's say, can I purchase more than one roaming plan? The AI agent's going to assess my desire to purchase based on these questions as the conversation goes on. So right now we're starting with a pretty high score, 9, hot, because we are asking purchasing questions about a product. The answer here is yes, you can purchase a Roam Easy Caribbean plan and an international plan at the same time. Now, since the score is really hot, the AI agent is trying to do a call to action to see if I'm ready to buy. So it's saying, may I have your preferred time for the call? Now, this is important because we don't want AI agents just answering questions like a concierge. It needs to function like a salesperson would. That was one of the assumptions of this demonstration, is that it is a sales rep that's commissioned that needs to book calls. And this is what a human would do. They would answer the question and then do a strong call to action. Now, I'm going to ask a second question and not be that easy to book a meeting with. Now, we're just going to ask a whole bunch back and forth. We're going to say, I can't receive text messages. What should I check? Now, this is a service concierge, but it could be a sales opportunity to sell more plans. So the answer here is check if the issue is with all numbers or just one, then restart your phone, try your SIM in another device. Now, the lead score in this case, it's still hot. It did go down a little bit because, again, we're starting to talk about troubleshooting, but we also talked about purchasing multiple plans inside of the same thread of troubleshooting conversations. And so it is going to do that call to action to book a meeting. I am going to ask another one here. Can I keep my current number if I switch? Now, this conversation is a sales opportunity because they are talking about switching plans. And so you're going to see that lead score go back up to 9 again because we are, again, indicating a pretty strong interest in purchasing a new plan here. The answer is yes, you can port your existing business number to Digicel. The process depends on your current provider and contract terms. So you get that really nice, strong call to action when can we chat, right? We're going to move into a couple of objections now. So let's say will my monthly fee increase during the contract? This is not necessarily an FAQ. It's more around an objection because pretty obviously here they don't want the monthly fee to increase during the contract. So it's more about a fear that has to be overcome. So the answer here is to better respond to this query, I'll proceed in setting up a meeting with the rep to further discuss. Now, what it's identified here is that if it tries to haggle on this particular objection and answer something, there might actually be more questions that need to be asked and understood about this particular request. And so it is better to set up a call with a live agent who can actually talk through this to better understand why they're asking that question. Totally fine. Let's get into what's the minimum contract length. Now, this one's probably an easier objection because most contract lengths are going to be predetermined. So it does answer the question, doesn't offer to talk to a rep. Instead, it says the minimum contract period is 24 months. But then it does say that it could set up a sales meeting to discuss further, and that's because if this person commits to longer contract periods, it could give them better pricing or better terms. Let's get into some questions about whether or not there's a dedicated support person that can help them once they sign up. And the AI agent says we have a dedicated triage supporting process for customer base in the corporate level. This is all pre-trained. We know that this is the right way for the AI agent to answer these questions because Digicel has provided some templated responses. But what I want to demonstrate here is we don't have to just copy paste something, and it doesn't necessarily have to always be the exact same answers. And so let's look at this one. It's the answer. The question was, do you provide on-site technical support if needed? That is the templated question. I'm going to change this and say, do you offer technical support, right? This is not the same way of asking that question. It's a variation of it, but you're still going to get the same proper AI-generated answer here. To better understand this query, I'll proceed in setting up a meeting, right? And that's because technical support could mean a lot of things. Before we commit to these things, we don't want to just paste it in. We need to ask a couple questions. I'm going to do another one. So are there any penalties for early termination? Instead, I'm going to say, can I terminate early without penalties, right? That's the same question, but asked in a very different way. And so the AI agent's going to come back and provide the answer. It can contextually understand exactly what you're asking without having to be exactly pasted. So here I'm going to paste the exact templated answer. Can I terminate early without penalties? And instead, I'm going to paste in the templated objection that we had, and it still is able to provide the proper associated rebuttal here and try to book a meeting. And so the reason I show this is because I don't want anyone watching this video to think that this is a RPA, robotic process automation, where it's just a copy-paste template Q&A and you have to have a exactly matching question for every potential question that you might get in real life. The reality is that these are contextual, so you could ask the exact templated question or variations of it, and you're still going to get the proper associated rebuttal, which in this case, Digicel has asked us to use this particular rebuttal for questions related to terminating early or whether or not there will be penalties if they don't finish the contract. And so, long story short, you have now answered, it's roughly 8 to 10 different FAQs and rebuttals that are all inside of the exact same conversation, and the AI agent now is going to proceed to try to get a sales call scheduled with a live agent. So I'm going to just finally agree to these terms. Maybe all of my concerns have been answered. I'm going to say, I'm ready to meet now. Let's see if the AI agent has a call center agent that's ready to roll or not. So what's happening now is it's checking the call center to see if they're open. It's also checking to see if there's an open queue, and if there is, it's going to book that meeting and then immediately outbound dial this person with an AI agent and try to transfer them inbound into the call center so that they can purchase a plan. And it looks like we were talking about roaming plans, right? And so that's what would be discussed. So a couple things are happening in the background here other than just checking if there's a call center agent that's available. What we're also doing is booking a calendar reminder and immediately sending that calendar reminder to this recipient. Again, I'm assuming that this was a SMS or email or WhatsApp conversation, and now we're transitioning into voice. So the other thing that's occurring is the AI agent is now outbound dialing them through voice to try to get this person to pick up the phone that they have been having a conversation with an SMS. So it's going to call this person. It's going to ask if they can be transferred to a live agent now, or if they'd like to schedule a callback. And if I say yes, transfer me now, it's going to just immediately transfer them into that call center. And in this context, right, where I'm saying call me now, it's very likely that I would also say transfer me now when the call comes through. But I could always say, I changed my mind, I want to schedule for later. Then inside of a voice conversation, the AI agent would just reschedule a callback and repeat that process of calling them at that time. So that's what's happening in the background right at the end of this conversation here, is it's transitioning to voice, scheduling a reminder, and then posting everything that it has learned from this conversation into your CRM or system of record. Now, let's kind of look at the logic section of the AI agent where we can understand why it was saying the things that it was saying. So we have talked a little bit about lead scoring. By the time it got to the end, the score was at its max of 10 out of 10. And that's because they asked multiple detailed questions about plans and then explicitly stated that they were ready to meet now. But there was a lot more that we understood about this conversation here. So obviously all of the back and forth messages will be posted into the system of record. But we'd also have the date and time of the meeting, some dispositioning, so like a quick summary. The user asks if they can purchase more than one roaming plan, that they can't receive messages and have some concerns about support, minimum contract length, etc. They stated that they wanted to meet now. We didn't really have a time zone on them, but multiple business-related questions were asked and should be shared with the sales representative. Great. So all of this gets structured and then posted inside of a CRM or a system of record in a specific way. If they're using Salesforce, it very likely would show up on the timeline of the contact card. Various different things would be posted there, as well as in the contact card, the score. And you could even move deals and different opportunities in Salesforce to different stages, or attach products like roaming plans based on the structured data that the AI agent has pulled out of this conversation, so that a lot of that busy workflow work that a human would have to do is now fully automated. So anyways, that, long story short, is how an AI agent on Pitchit could help answer objections and frequently asked questions for your telco dealership. Thank you.